Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to my channel. My name is The Praying Missus, and I'm glad to have you today. In today's video, we're actually going to be doing a fall-inspired recipe, one that is one of our favorites, me and my family, and I wanted to share with you guys today. It's a perfect meal to make on those cozy fall days that we are in right now. We're going to be going step by step through a chili recipe, something quick and easy to whip up, even on those days after work, or if you're just a busy mom or dad and you just need something quick that is going to be a hit. We also are just feeling the vibes today. Fall is my favorite season. Actually, it was my birthday month also in October. So this has always been just one of my favorite times of year. And I really enjoy just everything fall. So if that's something that you guys like, thank you for coming. God bless you for being here, and sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Now what we have here, guys, first of all, that's one of my favorite pots, my Dutch oven there, that blue one. It has made a lot of delicious meals. But the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some vegetable oil in the pan first. I like to do this because I'm actually going to be cooking turkey, ground turkey for this particular chili. And so with ground turkey, you want to have a little bit of extra, a little oil in there, a little bit extra moisture, because turkey tends to be a little bit less oily than ground beef. So you want to add a little bit so you can have a little moistness to your turkey. And then here I am showing you some of the ingredients, but what I'm putting in there first is that chicken bouillon seasoning. I like to use that instead of salt because it's pretty salty and flavorful. And right here I have a purple onion that I chopped up. I like to use purple onion sometimes, not all the time. You can really use whatever type of onion that you like. And then right here I am showing you some of the ingredients. So first I have some black pepper that I like to put in there. Excuse me for my attire in this video. This was actually my birthday weekend, and you know what? I was just really just chilling, and I just did something that I enjoy doing actually for my birthday, and that's to cook a little bit. And chili is one of our favorite things in the fall. This was some garlic powder I just put in there, as you can see. And I'm not great at measuring. I kind of eyeball things, but here's some a little bit of onion powder that I had left over. Not too much was left in there, but we have to make it work. Got to stay humble. Sometimes you got to just make it work. But thank God that I had a little bit left over, because I really like onion powder, and that's just me there trying to clean it up a little bit. I had a little spill, it's not always perfect. But we got the cumin here. I like to put a little cumin in my chili. I like that kind of like I do the same thing when I make my taco seasoning. I like that little flavor that the cumin provides, a little bit more like I guess like a Southwestern type of taste to it. And then of course this is chili. This is some California chilies I have in this container here. California chilies is what's available. I'm in California, so it's a local chili. I like to put a good amount in there because we are making chili, and that's the main ingredient there. And then here I like to make a little spicy, so I'm using also a little bit of chili flakes. I'm making this for my whole family, so just a little bit. So now that I have everything, all the seasonings in there, I'm mixing it up. I have been cooking at this point for a while. And as you can see the onions in there. I like to cook it down to a good, like a nice brown. And I want all the meat separated. That's actually 2 pounds of ground turkey. I usually use like Jennie-O or something like that. But actually, I really enjoy having ground chicken usually, but the store didn't even have it this time. But so I have to substitute. Right here, I'm just showing you some of the other ingredients that I like to use. I like to use beans in my chili. So sometimes it's like a chili bean, or it's a pinto bean, or I like to mix them. In this particular one, we are mixing those two together. I'm going to do the pinto bean and the black beans together for this particular recipe. So I like to open up all my cans first, make sure everything is all ready. And so I can just kind of just put everything in at one time. That's the best thing about chili, is that it's a one pot type of recipe that you could just put everything in at one time. And as you can see there, I am opening up my black beans. And then last thing I'm opening up here is some organic diced tomatoes. I do use diced tomatoes usually. And then maybe either tomato sauce or tomato paste, whatever is available at that time. And this time I'm using actually tomato paste. And just opening that up, making sure all the ingredients are together, ready, so we can just put everything all together. So after everything is put into the pot, all the ingredients that you just seen me open up, the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes, and the tomato paste, I have to add some water there so the tomato paste could kind of even out a bit. Sometimes I use chicken stock as well, so that's also an option if you prefer to do that. But with this recipe, I just kind of just use what was on hand for that day. So you give it a good stir, make sure all the ingredients is combined really well. After this step, this is when I'm going to add the beans in at this point. So the first can of pinto beans, I actually drained those, and I just put those in there. I don't always drain them. It just depends on how many cans. So you're going to see here with the black beans, they're not going to be drained because the juice from the beans actually help to thicken the chili up. And so I prefer to leave some juice in there so we can have a good combination, a good consistency with our chili. And I'm going to mix that up really well. And at this point, really, it's time to, I think I added a little bit of water and then a little bit more water just after I added the beans. And then it's basically time to let it simmer. At that point, I usually like to let the chilies cook for at least 30 minutes before I check it again. So at this point, I'm putting the lid on. I'm going to turn the fire down because I started off at like a medium heat, and I'm going to turn it down to a low setting, like a 1 or a low, just so it could kind of bubble together for those about a half hour. Now, while we wait for that to cook, it's always important to make sure the space is clean. So I'm just doing a little cleaning here, making sure that I like to clean as I go personally, just so things don't get out of control and chaotic. So I'm just taking a moment to do that as the chili is cooking away. And yes, you can see my little daughter in the background. So excuse us on this day. Like I said, we were really just having a really chill day at home, just enjoying the time with each other. And like I said, just the fact that just feeling very grateful that day because it was my birthday weekend. I really enjoyed it. And then just feeling a lot of gratitude and wanting to just do something for the family that day. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up here and putting all my ingredients back. And then making sure that I put them properly back into the cabinet and things like that. And then organize them just a little bit, just a tad bit right there. At this point, it had been about a half hour, about 30 minutes. The timer went off. So I am checking it after. And look at that. It looks awesome. Just bubbling away, cooking slowly. Give it a little stir there. Just making sure that, nothing is sticking to the pot and things like that. It's really up to you. You can leave it on a little bit longer if you want to. Some people cook their chili for up to an hour or hour and a half, depending on what consistency you like or how deep you want those flavors to go. With this one, I'm actually going to leave it on for a little bit longer just because I'm going to actually pair some rice with it. So I'm going to let it just kind of simmer in that low setting until that rice is done as well. So all in all, and end up cooking for about 50 minutes total. So that's perfectly fine. As long as you keep it on low settings, you should be pretty good with that. All right, so now we have the rice going here. Usually with the rice, I let it boil until it is rapidly boiling. And then I'll add some vegetable oil usually so the rice won't stick together once I put it in there. Right here, it's about 1.5 cups of rice that I'm placing in this small pot here. Once I put the rice in there, I just give it a quick little stir. And then I put the lid on once it boils up a little bit more. So you see here, I'm going to stir it a little bit, give it a little stir just to even it out. Really, that's what that's for. And then I'm going to let it boil up a little bit with a rapid boil first. And then once it starts to boil rapidly, I'm going to lower the heat to the lowest setting. I usually put it at either 1 or on the low setting. And then as you can see here, I'm going to put the lid on top of that so that can boil on low for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes is usually the perfect time for rice. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusts in him. As you can see, guys, we are done. The chili turned out awesome. I'm just plating it up here. It was definitely a hit. If you try this recipe yourself, please do not hesitate to comment and let me know how it turned out and how was your experience. As you can see here, the last thing I'm doing to just set it all off is to put a little cheese on the top. And I am going to also recommend that if you like anything else, other toppings that you might like, man, get creative. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. This is your girl, the Praying Mrs. Everything the Lord, home decor, and home in general. Thank you for clicking on today and like or subscribe.